Hey, welcome back to J.P.'s World of Wrestling. I'm your man J.P. So, today we begin our journey through the Galoob figures. And I decided, to start things off strong. So that's all we're talking about. This guy, right here, Sting, the Stinger. Steve Borden, the man. I have always been a big fan of Sting. Whether it was like this blonde surfer Sting, or whether it was the Crow Sting, or whether it was the NWO Wolfpack Sting, whatever version of Sting it was, I was a fan. But this particular figure, I really liked it. I really like the pose that it's in. The pose leaves you open to do all kinds of things, and both hands are closed. The stance is kind of regular, but close enough together where you could do drop kicks, and you could do clotheslines and suplexes and body slams, whatever. But this figure got a ton of play when I was a kid, a ton of, and I'm not like some of these kids that wouldn't mix WCW guys with WWF figures, because heaven forbid, I was like, how else am I going to get those fantasy matches that I wanted? Especially before Hulk Hogan went to WCW. How else am I going to get Hogan versus Sting? You had to mix the WCW Galoobs with the Hasbros. You had to if you're going to get matches like that. So, I don't know, but plus, I use my imagination. But this figure, like I said, got a lot of play. He was probably the champ a couple times, at least, in my fantasy figure federation. But he had a lot of matches with the next guy I'm going to profile, because their figures just work so well together. But yeah, WCW didn't have a ton of gimmicks in the 80s, but Sting was one of the gimmicks that they did have, and he's one gimmick that did work. And because he was over, the fans loved him, and I think he was voted most popular wrestler in like 1991 or something like that from Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine. And I always thought that if Sting had had an earlier WWF run, all the possibilities that could have ensued from that, But he decided to stay loyal to WCW, and he feuded with guys like Ric Flair. He was in it. I remember this specifically, where he was part of the Four Horsemen, but there was a segment on one of their TV shows, one of their weekly TV shows, and the Four Horsemen turned on him, and they all ganged up on him. So then he started feuding with all of the Four Horsemen. Yeah, and he had some pretty good matches, and but then like in the mid '90s, when Hulk Hogan turned heel and joined the NWO, Sting kind of started growing his hair long, and he became kind of a shadowy figure, and he sort of painted his face up like the character from the movie Crow. And I think that was an idea that came from Scott Hall. Scott Hall said, "Hey man, you should paint your face like the Crow." So he did, and it was over for like a whole year and a half. Sting was hanging up in the rafters, and he would like drop in on a cable, and he would clear the ring. But then after a while, after the NWO kind of split up, Sting joined the NWO Red and Black, the Wolfpack. He wore the red face paint, he wore the red and black outfit, and he still had the long black hair. But then the NWO kind of broke up completely, and he kind of went back to just being black and white Crow Sting. And I believe Sting was in the very last match in WCW. He was in a match, I think, with Ric Flair, was the last WCW match. And then, he went in to like independent promotions, and then he ended up in TNA Wrestling, which is now Impact. And then, finally, he ended up in the WWE, but his WWE run wasn't very impressive. He didn't win a single match, and I don't think they used him correctly. I don't think they booked him correctly. But then he left WWE, and now he's in All Elite Wrestling, which is good. I'm not a big AEW fan, but I do like that Sting is there, and Sting is in the ring there, and he's still going. He's still got it. When he made his WWE Hall of Fame speech, he said that he was done, but apparently not. Apparently he was just done with WWE. So, anyway, yeah. Sting, a.k.a. Steve Borden, a.k.a. the Stinger. But that's the Sting Galoob. And that's going to do it for this particular video. And if you're new here, go ahead and like and subscribe and share. And I'll see you next time.